Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at Mimighoul, and they recently got added to the new selection pack, and it's a really cheap deck, so I thought I'd just make a quick video on it. So we have essentially just Mimighoul Maker and the new Mimighoul Master, and that's pretty much all the URs for the deck. And I'm gonna be completely honest, it's not a top tier deck. So if you're expecting it to be the next meta breaking deck, sorry, it's not. But yeah, let's get into the deck profile. We're gonna talk a bit about the cards themselves, and then we'll watch some combos. So for the Mimighoul monsters, we have Dragon, which is a Raigeki. It's like a self Raigeki, and then it goes back to the opponent, which is gonna be you. That's the whole mechanic of the deck. You give them monsters, then they come back to you. And then this guy, he's the one that searches for your spells and traps. This guy is really good. He makes you draw one, and then your opponent discards one. So then he comes back to you. And this guy, he can flip cards over from face down to face up. So, and that's how you trigger all your effects. Mimighoul armor is cannot be destroyed by battle, and then it comes back to you. And then they all have the effect where you can just special them to the opponent's side of the field. So this guy does the same thing, and this guy too. That's their entire gimmick, is we give them to the opponent, they flip, they have negative effects, and they come back to us. Fairy, this turn you cannot activate the effects of monster special summon from the hand. That's pretty useful when you give it to them and you flip it over. It kind of like floodgates him a little bit, and then he comes back to you. You can also use her as an extender. She's the only one that you can just special like from your hand. We have Slime. He summons to the opponent, and then when he gets flipped over, you can summon Mimighoul from your deck. And then he comes back to you, and there's some good synergies, and then that you can extend with if you do land on this the slime given it to the opponent, because we'll talk about the magic card in a little bit. But the main monster is Mr. Mimighoul Master, and then when he's normal or special, you can search for a Mimighoul. And then during your opponent's turn, he can just flip them. So if you ever give them a dragon, you can flip it over. Raigeki's the board. Archfiend, you can discard one and draw one. So, and then Fairy again locks them into, well, doesn't lock them, but it prevents them from activating effects from special summon monsters. And that all works really well with Master. And then we have the dungeon card, which is actually just kind of like a floodgate. So any monster who controls a face-down monster cannot normal summon nor declare it an attack with monsters that were special summoned this turn. So it kind of really locks them into what they can do. They have to flip over the monster, which then triggers the negative effect, like Archfiend. So draw a card, discard a card. Like I said, it's like one of your best ones. This guy destroys your whole board. Not like you have anything at that point. And then, like I said, you can just give them to your opponent. It's like one of their effects. So yeah, you just kind of pick which one's best for the scenario. And then your best card, Mimighoul Maker. This allows you to pick two random from your deck, and your opponent picks one, and then you get the other one. So most of the time it's Dragon and Archfiend. Like I said, Archfiend, you really want them to have that so they can lose a card and you can draw one. We'll show a combo for that. And the combos are different on the ones that you pick. So I'll showcase some of the different combos. And then this is like the best part of the deck. You can just thrust them or talents them, because a monster activated on their side. So that's why it's really good with thrust and talents. And then we didn't talk about the room. Mimighoul room. You special summon one from your hand or deck to the field and face up defense to your opponent's field, and then you can change another one. So when they do inevitably flip over the monster that you set on their field, because they're kind of locked with dungeon, so they flip it and then the negative effect activates, and then they summon another monster, you can then just flip it back. So they're stuck in this loop where they have face-down monsters and they can't do anything. And then we're playing the Fiendsmith. We're not playing the Kashtira because we don't. I don't think it's as good because they're kind of limited in Master Duel. So sure, if you can like start off the duel with them, it's really good. But other than that, I think the Fiendsmith cards are just higher ceiling. So, but you can play both, or I mean like either or. I mean, if you think Kashtira is better, you can play the Kashtira over the Fiendsmith. So that'll be it for the main deck. Let's talk about the extra deck. We got the typical Fiendsmith stuff with Lacrima, Necroquip, the Desiree, the DD, the Requiem, the Moon, the Sequence, Agnum Day. And I'll showcase a combo using all the Fiendsmith cards. And then for the XCs, we have Giant Mimighoul, which allows you to add a Mimighoul card. Throne, you can detach one to special the Master from anywhere, hand, deck, or graveyard. I guess it gets Spanish, it's probably not gonna work, but it's fine. And then he also has the bounce effect where you can equip to a Master and then you can return a card to the field, from the field to the hand. We got Zeus, Typhon, we went over Requiem, we have IP for Little Knight, and then we have Goddess just to get rid of a problematic monster if it ever comes up. But that'll be it for the deck profile. Let's look at some combos. And I know this portion was a little bit longer, but it's a new archetype and we really want to make sure you guys understand what each card does and how it works together with the deck. So let's watch some combos. This would be the Mimighoul Maker combo. And you pick Archfiend and Dragon. And this combo is if they take the Archfiend and give you the Dragon. So you special the Dragon. Dragon will then activate to add the dungeon. You activate the dungeon. Search for Mimighoul. And you search for the fairy. And then you can special the fairy. Just ignore the what's it called? Cards in my hand. Kind of just searching for all of them. Now you're going to Throne. And you can special the Master. Master will then add the Archfiend from the deck. And now you can normal summon the Master. You then can flip his monster, which really just draw one, and you draw one, he discards one, and then you take him back. And then you can go into the Mimighoul Giant, or Giant Mimighoul. And then he'll search for the trap card. And so you ended up on the same board. You do the same thing with the fairy. You summon it on their side to flip their monster. And then they're locked because of the dungeon. And then this is a bounce. The Throne is a bounce. And then the Master will flip it over. And then you have the graveyard effect for the Maker. And this is if they give you the Archfiend. Or they get the Archfiend and you get the Dragon. So you draw one and they discard one too. So they're at 4 cards. So that'll be that version of the combo. Let's watch the other version. Where if they get the Dragon and they give you the Archfiend. This will be the Mimighoul Maker combo. And when you go Maker, you usually 99% of the time it's Dragon and Archfiend. Here they get Dragon, and just sequencing is very different for both, but you still end up with the same end board. So you special the Archfiend. Archfiend will then flip his monster, and then he comes back to your side. And then you can go into Throne. Throne will then detach one to special the Master. That's 2 interruptions right there. One's a bounce and one's a flip. The flip is more important later. And then you can add the Dragon. You add the Dragon because you haven't normal summoned yet. So you normal. Then he allows you to get for Dungeon. Dungeon will then activate to add another one. So you add Fairy. Fairy can then special itself to your side. And then you can link that up or Xyz into the giant Mimighoul. And now you can add another card. And now you add the trap card here. And that's just your 1-card combo, and then you have the 4 other ones in your hand. So when it's their turn, wait for them to summon a monster, and then you activate your room. So then you can special a monster from your deck to their side, which is going to be Fairy probably. So this turn you can activate the effects of monsters special summon from your hand. So you summon Fairy to their side, flip their other monster, and then Master will flip over the Fairy so you can activate the effect. So that's pretty much your 1-card combo. I will show you the other combo. It's exactly the same, but you sequence it differently depending on if they give you the Dragon. This will be the Mimighoul Dragon combo, and it's just a 1-card, so we can normal summon and search for the dungeon. Activate the dungeon to search for the Fairy. She's an extender, so that's why you search for her. And now you can special. And then you make the giant Mimighoul. Effect activates to grab the Mimighoul Maker. Now you can activate the effect. So it's Slime and then Archfiend. So they get Slime. This only works if they get Slime. So they get Slime and you can special the Archfiend. Now Archfiend activates to flip him, which allows you to special summon. So we'll just summon the armor, and it comes back to us. And then we make the throne with any 2, doesn't matter. Throne activates, and then you can detach an Archfiend to special the Master, or Mimighoul Master. Effect activates, and then we can add a 3rd Archfiend, and I'll explain to you why. You can then link into IP with Giant and whatever one you summoned. Make sure to keep Throne and Master because they're interruption. And now you activate the Archfiend effect to just set it on their side. So on their turn, you'll flip over the Archfiend, and they'll have to discard one, and you draw one. And then he comes back to your side, and then you can link off with IP. My hand's pretty broken. I drew talents, so I can rip one. And tactics, I could probably set in perm here, since I did draw the room. Also, you can just really grab whatever. And you could grab track here or an imperm. So that'll be it for that combo. This would be the Fiendsmith combo, and you just need Maker pretty much, or you just have a way to access it. So we go Archfiend and Dragon. This one it really doesn't matter. So they get the Archfiend and we get the Dragon. We can then special the Dragon, and then you can add the Dungeon. Again, we kind of got the cards we wanted to search. So Dungeon activates, you add the Fairy. We can now then special the Fairy, and then go into Throne. Throne then activates, and we can special the Master. Master will then activate, and we can add Archfiend. And now we can normal because we have a normal summoned, and then we can flip it. Now if I draw one, he discards one, and then we get the card back. And now you can go Moon. So Archfiend and Archfiend. You can really do anything with these two monsters. You can make the rabbit if you want to do that. You can do Little Knight if you want that instead, or even an IP, that works too. But we're showing the Fiendsmith portion here, and this is just standard stuff. Requiem into Lacrima, send the Engraver, and then go sequence, put the Moon back, and then sequence, and then go into Desiree. Or if you want to do Caesar stuff. But I'm just going to showcase Desiree here. So, Desiree, and then you can just equip it here, or you can do Agnum Day. So, we're just going to do a little bit. You can do either or, it doesn't matter. This is good for the OTK, so keep that in mind. Tag with Agnum Day, and then tag out into Desiree. So that's 46. You won't be able to attach during the battle phase, but before then, you know. And then if it's turn 1, you can just make this, and then you have Desiree, and you have all 5 cards left. So that'll be it for the combo. That'll be it for the combo section, and I really wanted to showcase the different like combos you can do with Maker. It's your best spell, and I wanted to show what happens if you get the Archfiend and they get the Dragon, or if it's the reverse, you get the Dragon, they get the Archfiend. And that's why I kind of incorporated the Fiendsmith cards, because they're gonna bait out a couple of hand traps, right? So they'll be down to like, you know, 4 cards or 3 cards. Then you summon the Archfiend on their side, flip it over, they're down to 2 cards, and you're kind of hand looping them a little bit, like with talents as well. So you're just being really like annoying, and they lose a lot of cards just with the Fiendsmith. The Cashier cards also do the same thing, but I feel like they're a bit more situational, I guess, in the fact that not the Unicorn, the Fenrir doesn't really do anything if you start with Fenrir. If you have Unicorn, then yeah, that's great, but I'd rather just get the guaranteed like Ash on the Engraver or the track, or even the Requiem, because that means I guess your mostly the other combo is just gonna be good. And giving them a monster and then thrusting for your talents is also really good. Like, you're just ripping cards out, you're drawing extra cards, you're at some point when they have like three or four cards, right? Like 3 cards and they draw one, and you still did your whole combo, you're just gonna win because you have so much more card advantage. Which is why I kind of felt like I needed a 3rd thrust and the 2nd talents. But like I said, if you do draw the Fiendsmith cards, they just bait out all the traps, and then you can start being really annoying because your typical end board is just basically they have a monster and then you have Master with Throne, sometimes the Giant, and then like an IP or something. So they run out of cards quick, and then you start to really just get a lot of advantage off of that, which is like the main point of the Fiendsmith cards. But I hope you like the deck profile and the combos to kind of showcase what the deck can do. I know it's a bit confusing at first because of the way that I talk and the way the cards kind of interact, because I'm like saying you and them and stuff like that. But hopefully the combos kind of clear things up a little. So that'll be it for the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more videos.